Greetings, Star Trek Fleet Commanders. I am the Angry Rhino. Today I'm going to be talking about Tau. What was it? Sometime over the weekend, announcement was made that supposedly they found him. Yeah. If I remember correctly, this guy's supposedly been in the game longer than I have. So, yeah, man. They knew where he was the whole time. They just didn't feel like fixing him. But they decided to release him now because they figured they could get you to spend money on him. It's fine. I mean, it's perfectly okay for you to do things so that people buy and give you money. It just like say that though. Don't be like, oh, we just found him. Yeah, right. Okay. So you got 2 packs, $50 one. It's just a full unlock. Let's go. Prepare. Good job. And then the $100 one is tier 2. If you do end up deciding to buy him, tier 2 is not going to get you too much. His officer ability is only going to go up by 1%. You see here on the screen, his captain ability, 20% damage against battleships. Officer ability, minus 5% of the opponent's whole health. Decrease each turn while it has burning. So think like Yuki. It's essentially the same thing, except it's hull, not shields, and the opponent has to be burning. So you may be thinking, well, why would people buy this? Is there use for it? There really is use for it. Typically, a battle that you're going to see Tau useful is obviously a ship with higher hull. Now, he doesn't work against armadas, so don't think you can go running a bunch of Taus and kill an armada real easily. So you want ships with high hulls. And you really want to live, because there's not too much of a point unless base defense, and yes, he'll work in base defense for you. Very simple, and maybe when I get him, I'll talk about some way to crew load up for base defense for him. I mean, it is pretty self-explanatory. Burn your opponent, use Tau. 5% of their hull gone every round. Which is on top of what burn does, which is 1%. Take a look at... Oh, I wanted to show you this first. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Right? Your Apex hostiles. Probably part of the reason why he's released now. Apex, or I guess not necessarily Apex, but the Mantis grinding is still not fixed to the way they want it to be. There aren't too many stuck hosts. There are some, but Tau is going to be very good against Apexes for 2 reasons. Look at the damage per round. That's pretty low. Look, here's my Pylum. My Pylum does 5 million. The Apex only does 1 million. So think to yourself, as far as damage goes, is this really a boss type opponent? Not really. Scroll on down here. Look at them hit points. 727 million on the shields, 571 on the hull. It doesn't matter the side, the actual number of the hull. Tau's going to take 5% like Yuki does, right? So Tal's going to be very good against Apexes. And whatever other hostile has a high hull but low DPR, damage per round, because you're going to have to win. Doesn't do a whole lot if you lose. Because if I remember correctly, since it's, what is the word they use? It's like artificial. You're not actually doing damage to the ship. It's just being removed. So at the end of the battle, it's going to be put back if you don't win. At least that's the way I understand it. Since I don't have them, I don't actually know. But that is what I've heard. Ultimate DJ's podcast on Sunday, I think it was. He talked about Tal a lot. Many screenshots of people taking down 49 Apexes with Tal. And yeah, they had Pilums smaller than mine, so it's definitely a viable option. Heavy traders are another hostile that's going to be good for. So especially some of you maybe 39s, potentially low level 40s. You could take down many more heavy traders than you were once before. So what do you get for heavy traders? Yeah, there's not too much loot, but think about those chests that you get. They're high in officer XP, and you got a good chance of getting blueprints, good blueprints from them. Let's take a look at the officer page. Discuss some crews you can use him with. Pretty obvious. One of your, the two bridge officers already. It's who's the third one, right? Burner's going to be one, so either Giorgio or Nero, whichever one you like best. I would say if your Giorgio's tier 4, then that's who you should use. Anything less on her can be debatable which one is better, Nero or Giorgio. I like Nero, but that's because I have 4-star ships and they shoot a lot more. So I there have more chances to get the burn. If you're running a 3-star ship, maybe, maybe not. Since you're going to be going into Apexes and you want that loot, obviously one of the leading candidates for that third spot is 5. Mitigation with captain ability, survivability. Remember, I said you had to survive. Loot gain. But she's not the only option. Now, since you can go and hit bigger hostiles, you can get a bigger loot drop, just by hitting the hostile. So, another way to go about it, another officer to use, could be Dijoki. You're burning the opponent. Well, here you go. When the opponent is burning, 500% to your mitigation. So essentially, just like 5, except by herself, she's only at 200%. But here, Dijoki, yes, max, is 500%. So therefore, you would have to stack less health below dex in order to reach max mitigation, which you're going to want because you spend a token to go into the 49 Apex land system. You want to kill as many as you can kill and fill your cargo. Again, you have to survive. Captain ability, not really that useful. Can increase the health of your officers, yes. But if you're already at max mitigation, it doesn't really matter. So, it's not the greatest option. But it is an option. Let's find Charvenik. Again, not necessarily the best option. But if you think Charvenik, Tal, Dijoki, they're all in the same group. See the little green? the number highlighted in green, that is what increases. If it's a captain ability, that's what increases by synergy. If it's an officer ability, that's what increases by tier ups. When the ship's hull health goes under 80% of its value at the start of combat, Charvanik has an 80% chance of burning the opponent. So yes, with the synergy, you would get a higher chance of burning the opponent. Now, your hull's got to get to, like it says, the hull has to take damage. So is it as good as Nero or Giorgio? Probably not, but again, it's an option. Potentially this is an option for you to use in base defense, maybe in PvP. Let's talk. That was Tau. On the PvP, let's talk about an anti-battleship strike team variant. Pretty sure I mentioned Severus. I should have, if I didn't. See his captain ability: when the ship is burning from the opponent, Severus decreases the opponent's hull health by 10% each round. So you're fighting Battleship Strike Team. They're going to put burning on you. That's where Tau can come in for you. So he's on the side. You throw Severus in the captain spot, and he's going to gain synergy with Tau. So that should go up to 15%. Or wait, are they the same type of dude? They are the same. So not going to get too much of an increase, but you're going to get an increase on that 10%. Should be about 12.5%. And then you put a burner on the other side. So you're burning him, they're burning you. Now how much hull health is coming off each round? 12% from Severus, 5% from Tau. Is it going to be enough? I don't know. It's a possibility. It really is. Probably the most use you're going to get out of Tau is going to be the Actian Apexes. He will work. He should work in base defense. It's only 5% around. You really want those base battles to go 3, maybe 4 rounds. You don't want them to go too long. So that's not really too much from Tau, but it is an option. But for sure, if you purchase Tau, you will be able to farm. What is the Apex loot called? Called Apex loot. You will be able to farm the Apex loot easier. Most likely your best option for that is going to be 5 Tau burner person. Yes, I did. And I also gave you some other options. So, also in that announcement was the statement that pay to play first, right? Later on down the road, there will be free to play paths for Tau. When? Don't know. I'm not going to buy him just because I think it's bullshit. They could have fixed him 3 years ago, as far as I'm concerned. And who knows? I probably have a max Tau by now. I don't, because... Why? Why? They wanted to put him in their pocket and save him for a rainy day to make money on him. All right, I mean, that's cool. It's just you kind of screwed us out of getting an officer. We could have had this officer years ago. So I'm not going to buy it. Is he worth the money? He does work, for sure. I've seen plenty of screenshots proving that he works. Is he worth it? You're going to have to decide that. My opinion is no. Of course, I'm one of those idiots that spent money on the Mantis. And I'm a little pissed off that it's still broke as shit. And apparently the solution is spend more money. Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. There's no compensation coming yet for the Mantis. And as far I know, I've heard that they're working on it. I don't think it's coming. It's not coming. They're jackasses. They're not going to compensate us for paying for the Mantis, and it's broke as shit. But however, I'll get Tal if I get Tal, and they can go suck on their own assholes. Didn't mean to go down that road, but I went down that road. Guess it's time for me to be hitting the old dusty trail there, huh? So yes, Tal does work. Is he worth it? It's really something you're going to have to decide. Hopefully use the information I gave you in this video. Put a comment below if you have a question. I will try to answer it. Also comment below, are you going to get him? Have you gotten him? Do you like him? Be sure to also like and subscribe below. I'm the Angry Rhino. Shields up, Commanders.